Hey everyone, Ronde&Coot here, and welcome to my review of the new movie Nerve. Now the first half of this review is going to be completely spoiler-free. I'm going to issue a spoiler warning when I actually start talking about some major plot points within the movie. And right here, is going to be the time that you can skip to if you want to completely avoid spoilers, right here at the bottom of your screen. So once I say, hey, spoiler warning, if you don't want the movie ruined for you, just go ahead and pop over to that time, and we'll just get my final overall thoughts on the movie. Alright, so without further ado, let's jump in. The new movie Nerve. What did I think about it? Overall, I thought it was a good movie. I thought it had a lot of creative aspects to it, but for everything that it did right, there was something that it kind of did wrong. Well, not badly, but just something that could have been improved on, something that could have been done a different way. And I'm going to get into that right now. What I feel is going to turn a lot of people off to the movie is going to be the first few scenes, because it's a lot of just cheesiness. Like V, who's our main character, played by Emma Roberts, she is nervous, doesn't want to talk to the guy she likes, and her friend Sydney, is like the daredevil risk taker, and she plays this game called Nerve, where she is challenged by people on the internet to do dares for money, and the whole thing is anonymous, and you have to film the dare in order to get the money. There's a lot of like complicated rules to it, but basically you're filming yourself doing dares to get money. That's the very core concept of the game. And she's trying to get all these viewers so she can make it to the final round and win like the giant ultimate prize. So she's doing pretty well for herself, and V is over here just kind of not really doing anything, just thinking about applying to her college. Maybe she will, maybe she won't. She's just really scared to do everything. And she decides, after a little bit of, should we say, fun-making from her friends, I can't think of the right word. They make fun of her for basically not wanting to take risks. So after all that, she decides to play the game Nerve. And in the very beginning, especially with V, the character development is just kind of cliche, cheesy. You can kind of see where everything's going. Like, oh, I'm afraid to take risks. Oh, I'm a risk taker. It's very one-dimensional, very, it almost turned me off to the movie entirely. Yeah, the character development's very, very cliche, cheesy, not really all there. Especially with the side characters. Like, besides V and Sydney, they have a little friend group, like 2 or 3 people, including one guy who will become important later on in the story. But in the beginning, they're just all so flat and one-dimensional. You can never tell one character apart from the other. It gets really, really distracting to the movie. Alright. So, she goes into the game, and she meets a guy. They start doing dares together, because apparently the watchers, which are the people that watch the game, like seeing these two together. And it's all cheesy stuff, like they go to a store, they try stuff on, things like that. It's just really, really like generic dares. And then it starts to get a little bit serious. Now, this is not a spoiler because it's in the commercials a lot, but the part where it starts to get really serious is when they're dared to go 60 miles an hour blindfolded, and that's when the movie has a complete tonal shift. It goes from like this cheesy kind of like almost a romance movie to this like edge of your seat, like really pulse-pounding thriller that's really good at like setting up tension. And it's really shown in that 60 miles per hour scene. They're like zooming in and out of traffic. They're about to crash like 4 different times, and they just like narrowly avoid disaster. It's really like heart-pounding. It's really good at what it does. As the movie keeps going, Sydney's character arc starts to get more defined, while the rest of the characters stay kind of one-dimensional, except for one at the very end. Sydney starts to like have insecurities. You start to see more of like her actual person start showing underneath like this risk taker, and you start to see that like every character in the movie has something bad about them, except for the side characters because they're completely one-dimensional. But every character that we're supposed to focus on in the movie has something that is completely... There's a fly next to me. See the fly ruining my shot? Fuck you! But every character that we're supposed to like care about and get invested in the movie has their own little side story that's very, very important, and all works together in the confines of the final like act of the movie. So Sydney's character arc gets developed more. She becomes more of a realistic character that you can like invest in, and I think her character arc is very well done in the second half of the movie. Now, one thing I have to talk about without doing spoilers is the cinematography of the movie. It is extremely well done, especially during like the high stakes dares. It's really good at establishing the sense of dread and makes you believe that every character could die at any given moment. Especially because in the rules of the game, you have to be filming yourself on your own phone. I don't know why I'm doing this hand motion. It's kind of weird. You have to be filming yourself on your own phone in order to get credit for the dare. So they'll switch between these like long establishing shots of like characters in danger to actual first person views of what the character looks like and like their actual inner thoughts. You don't hear inner thoughts obviously, but like the idea of this first person camera, this like close up view of the character gives you a lot more of a human aspect to the character. It makes you really invest in them more because you can see exactly what they're seeing. So yeah, cinematography is awesome in this movie. Alright guys, spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Skip to this time if you do not want the movie to be spoiled for you. Everybody gone? So if everybody that is here is cool with the spoilers. Alright, let's jump in. Okay, so the big reveal, well, one of the big reveals, the movie has a lot of like twists and turns to it. One of the big reveals is that Ian, the guy that V has been paired with throughout all of this, has been setting up V to go and fight with her friend the entire time on dares from Nerve. And you start to think that this guy that V has become such close friends and really opened up with throughout the movie is actually an enemy the entire time, and you're like, whoa, it's a super crazy reveal, and you can tell Ian has something to say, but V is trying to run away from him, and then all of a sudden you find out that her mom and her bank account, because they have like a joint account, has been completely wiped of all of her money. She has had all of her private information like leaked out because she tried to snitch, which is she tried to tell the police about the game. And then this character that we see every now and then, his name is Ty, and he's played by rapper Machine Gun Kelly, if you guys know him. I thought it was an interesting fact. But yeah, this character Ty pops up and just decks V, and she gets knocked out. And where I said things were high stakes before, this is where they really take this like really dark and dangerous turn. So V wakes up in a, what's the thing called? They're on trains. Oh, a freight car. That's it. She wakes up in like a freight car in like the empty freight container, and there's a computer right in front of her. Basically, it says that because she snitched on the game, she has had all of her personal information leaked out. Her credit cards have been wiped, and basically they own her existence. And the only way out is to beat the game. So she's given this, and she's allowed to exit from the container. And Ian is there waiting for her, and he explains that he's also a prisoner of the game. He tried to snitch on it last year, as did this character, Ty, who has been competing with Ian to try and break their like bonds from the game. And it all leads up to this like really, really awesome final scene where they're in this like Coliseum, and this character who I keep talking about, who wasn't relevant before, I can't remember his name, but he's like the friend who is with V for most of the opening parts of the movie, and he's like a hacker. This guy is like furiously working with all of his like hacker buddies to try and shut down the game, try and like make all the users of the game open, because the logic of the movie is that everybody is on an anonymous server, so you can't get anybody. But stupid fucking fly. So the logic of the movie is that the reason why all these people can't be caught is because they're all private anonymous servers, every single user of Nerve. So what they're trying to do is rewrite the source code of the actual website to try and change that so that they're all on one server and they're all open. So that's what he's trying to do. He's like furiously trying to do it the entire time. The mom gets involved, the mom of V, I should say, gets involved, and she's like freaking out, and it all builds up to this big finale where Ty, Ian, and V are all in this like Coliseum. They have all the watchers surrounding them. They're all like wearing these like weird masks, and the final round is for one person to shoot the other. And the original final round is between V and Ian. So V does not shoot Ian, and Ty shows up and says, "I'll do it. I want to be free from the game." So he jumps down and is about to shoot V. V has this like last kind of inspirational speech where like the theme of the movie is laid out, which is it's okay to take risks, but you have to know what is unsafe, and you have to not get swept up in mob mentality. There's two themes to it. One is a critique on mob mentality. Two is knowing when a risk is going too far. So she lays out those in that like final speech. It's actually very well done, the way it's scripted, the way it's worded, and especially the way Emma Roberts delivers it. Very, very well done. But they still vote yes, and Ty shoots her, and she looks like she dies. Well, she does pretty much die. Ian is like holding her corpse, and it's really, really sad. And then the game is leaked. Everybody becomes non-anonymous. They're basically told their accessories to murder because of the hackers, and everybody shuts off of the game. The game is offline entirely. And then, big twist, it's revealed V is not actually dead. She worked out a deal with Ty earlier that the gun would shoot blanks, and they would shoot V to make people look like they had murdered somebody. It was a very smart twist. There's like so many twists in this movie. It was a very smart twist. I was kind of debating whether or not V should have just actually died, like almost like a Jesus kind of thing, where she dies for the sins of the people who played the game. But I feel like that's a little too heavy-handed, so I think it's good they brought her back at the end. So yeah, all the money that she made from the dares gets back in to her account because of the hackers. The game is completely offline. Everybody has been revealed to the public as watchers or players of the game. And we seem to have this like sort of happy ending until we find out that the final shot of the movie sees Ian and V just kind of like laying around in a park, kind of talking to each other, basically like, oh, that was a great first date. It's this really like cheesy line stuff that's going on. But then the big twist at the end is the camera pans out and you see that the whole like final scene was being taken on a phone. And it sets up a whole sequel. I think the sequel pretty much writes itself because like the creators of the game could easily come back at V and try and get her and Ian and maybe just kill them this time, not just like lock them in a game. I think the sequel definitely writes itself. I'm not sure if the movie should get a sequel. I feel like it's good the story just ends there. But yeah, those were all the spoilers. That was basically what I thought of it. So let's bring back the people that were not listening to the spoilers, huh? Okay. So, welcome back. I just finished talking about other people about the spoilers, so now we're going to talk about my overall thoughts on the movie. Basically, if you can get past like the initial cheesiness in the first couple of scenes, a really, really good and well-made thriller is what waits for you. And everything about it is done well. There are a couple things that it can improve on, but everything is done well in its own right, except for the side characters, of course, because they are stay one-dimensional. But the characters we're supposed to care about, which are V, Ian, Ty, and Sydney, they are all well developed. They all have their own little idiosyncrasies to them. It's very, very well done development of characters. I think that the initial cheesiness and like all the cliches that it uses in the beginning are going to turn a lot of people off and a lot of critics off to this movie. But if you can get past that, I think this movie can easily get like a cult classic status. Because of the cheesiness, it's not going to be like this critically acclaimed movie. Everyone should go watch it. It's going to be a cult classic, I think. It's going to be a like Breakfast Club or something like that, where the critics didn't really like it, but that doesn't matter because the people like it. So yeah, overall, I'm going to give Nerve a 7.5 out of 10. If you can get past the cheesiness, a great movie awaits you, but that cheesiness is what kind of hampers the movie down. Alright, so this has been my review of Nerve. Let me know if you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a like down below. Comment if you want me to review any more movies, games, albums even, etc. Comment down below, let me know. I would love to do more reviews in the future. And of course, if you're not already doing it, hit that red subscribe button down below, and I will catch you all in the next video. Thank you so much for watching my very first review. Bye-bye, everybody.